Here at the pool or at the beach, do you always see the lifeguard like chit-chatting or on the cell phone texting or anything?
No. I do.
No.
I do. I saw
What
one
does the lifeguard have to do?
Look out! He like stands in a big giant chair.
Yeah, big giant chair. That's right. And what is he doing?
Like,
or is she doing?
If someone's drowning, they do this like if they have a whistle.
Blow their whistle. Yeah. If you go running like that. If you go running around the pool, what do they do? What do they say?
Blow the whistle and say
walk. Walk. Don't run.
They say to not run.
Yeah. You won't see a lifeguard talking to a bunch of people. They'll be paying attention because they're watching and they're listening. So I want you, we're going to practice our listening skills today. And I want to play a sound. I want to play a sound and then I want you to, don't shout it out, but raise your hand if you know what the sound is, okay?
Oh, you have
Listen,
a helmet. I
don't shout it out. Is that a Griffin? Okay, go ahead, listen to sound number 1.
The ocean!
Say listen, put your hand up if you know what it is. Alright. Jeffrey.
The ocean.
Very good. Did everybody think it was the ocean?
Yeah. No.
Alright, what did you think it was?
A waterfall.
Okay, we may have an opportunity of that one later. Okay, next one. Raise your hand. You know what it is. What do you think it is?
Seagulls.
Yes. Actually, it was osprey. No, it was seagulls. Okay, next one.
Actually, an osprey.
I didn't say mock it. What is it?
Boys and girls laughing.
Boys and girls laughing. It sounds like little boys and girls laughing. Like little. All right, what's the next one?
A waterfall.
There's your waterfall. There it is. I'm glad you guys got that one. I couldn't figure that one out. All right, what's next? Bugs, bees.
Bees eat you. What's the suit of armor?
That's coming. That's coming. He just came here like this today. He likes to wear weird stuff. Okay, next up. Help! Help me! What is it?
I know.
No! Yes, that's exactly what it was. Guy yelling help, he was drowning. Okay.
I have no idea. A whistle.
All right. Dogs, that's right.
I
Barking.
love dogs. I'm an animal
All right.
person.
This one's going to be a tough one.
A motorcycle.
Close.
Airplane.
No.
Car.
UFO.
No.
I know again.
No.
A helicopter.
Nope.
I got it again.
That one? Yes.
A scooter.
Close. I'll give you a hint. We're on an island. What do you think would go around the island? What?
A boat.
Yes! It's a motorboat. You want to play that one again? See, that's a motorboat. Yeah. That's good. All right.
How did you get all this stuff recorded?
Took a long time.
Weston's MC.
Got a little remix.
All right, today's story. Sorry. Today's story is probably one of the coolest Bible stories. It's going to be fun. So, Pastor's going to lead us through that story. I'll turn it over to him. You want this? You got that?
I'm wondering why you're wearing a suit of armor.
All right. So, we're going to learn about oh no, I'm in the water. Better get out of the water. Okay, now I'm in. Okay, he's swimming. So,
Like a suit of armor?
real quick,
we're going to go back and learn about, or just talk real quickly about all the other stories we talked about so far this week. So, do you remember when the first day we gathered?
Yeah.
What was the first Bible story we talked about?
There was a king, and whoever didn't bow down to a statue would get thrown in the furnace of
That's
fire.
right. And God saved Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. God saved them. And that was all about how God says that,
I have seen
He says, I will be with you, I think, right? Is that the first thing on your name
No.
tag?
him.
I am with you, yeah. He says, I am with you. And God was with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The second day, I'm going to just use your name tag here, Keegan, if that's okay with you. He says, I care about you. Do you remember what that story was? I care about you. Do you remember the two sisters and a brother?
Oh! Martha and Mary and Lazarus.
Right, and Jesus did what with Lazarus? He
Saved
brought him back to life. On the third day, we heard God promise, I give you what you need.
That's
Wait,
today.
you already answered. Well, go ahead and answer again. Remember this one? I give you what you need.
Today is I'll
There was a guy who couldn't walk and
That's right. There was a guy who couldn't walk, and remember they lowered him down
to Jesus.
to Jesus.
And he said, I will forgive all your sins and you can walk again.
Perfect. Very good.
And he took his mat and just walked home.
And in that story, we learned that what the gentleman who was on the mat. Remember when not Lazarus, the guy who was paralyzed, Jeffrey? Do you remember what did he need the most?
His legs
But remember what Jesus said first? But remember what Jesus said first?
Yeah.
He said it just a second ago.
I care about you.
Starts with the F.
I can't see. Faith.
No. You said it earlier. What did Jesus say to the man? I
Forgive you.
forgive you, right? And that was God saying, I'll give you what you need. And I will save you was yesterday's story. And it was about Jesus coming back to life, right? Now we're going to hear a story about two people. Do you remember one of the sounds we heard was somebody calling for help?
Yes.
We're going to hear a story about two people who called for help and how God responded to them. So the two people are called Paul and Silas. And Paul and Silas would travel all around from different cities, and they would tell people about Jesus, and they wanted people to believe that Jesus is God's Son, and to obey God and to follow Jesus. Paul and Silas, they also liked to pray to God too. And one day they were headed to a place of prayer when they had a major interruption. In fact, the interruption landed Paul and Silas in prison. And now you can help me act out what happened next in the story. So here's what I want you to do. You kind of have to spread out a little bit. You have to sit with your legs straight and your arms straight and pretend and sit up really tall. It's going to be kind of uncomfortable. But we're going to pretend that we're all in prison. And that your hands are locked together and your feet are locked together and you can't even, you can kind of move like a little bit like this, but you can't really move because you're in prison. Okay? So that's our part. So, be real quiet. Be real quiet, okay? Let's listen. You know what that means?
What?
We're definitely in jail now. That was the door closing. And we're in this dark place. It's like a prison in here. So that jail door is closed, and now we're in prison with Paul and Silas. And they got kind of beat up, and they were given over to the jailer. Now, the jailer was the guy who had the keys, right? So they were stuck in jail, and the jailer had the keys, and their feet were kind of stuck like this, and their hands were kind of stuck like this, too. These handcuffs, they kept the prisoners from getting up and walking around. They had what they call them stocks. Like their feet were bound together and their hands were bound together. They couldn't even walk.
What if they sat up? What if they sat up and jumped up from their butt?
Well, how do you think that they were feeling right now, Paul and Silas?
Sad. Maybe worried.
Maybe.
Worried?
And then
Uncomfortable?
if they jump up, the they can unlock, they can pick the locks.
What do you think the other jailers were saying? What kind of sounds were Paul and Silas hearing in the jail?
Help.
Or bad words.
Oh, some bad words maybe? Maybe there were some bad people in there? Help, yeah. Well, see, they probably heard other people, some of the people might have been in pain. Maybe some people were real hungry and starving, and just like, or sitting like this is uncomfortable. Maybe people were hurt. Maybe people's backs were hurting or their legs were hurting. They couldn't get up around and walk, so it was really uncomfortable. But believe it or not, Paul and Silas, they weren't too concerned about what was going on around them. In fact, they decided they would just go ahead and do what they loved to do. And what they would love to do was
Pray.
read the Bible and pray and maybe sing some songs. Well, they were praying and singing. Now, if you were stuck in jail, would you be praying and singing? You might be praying.
I'll be praying and singing. My passion is singing, and I love praying.
Well, I love that your passion is singing and praying, buddy.
In
'cause-
our jail, people get to have stuff to eat, right?
Oh yeah. Well, it's no wonder now that the other prisoners were listening, because here comes Paul and Silas, and they're praying out loud, and they're singing. That's something unusual. That usually doesn't happen in the jail. But the excitement had just begun when all of a sudden whoa. The earth started shaking, and there's a big earthquake. Whoa. Oh no! Watch out for falling things! Oh no! The jail door just opened. That's strange. Look around. Whoa, door's open. And now your chains are not on anymore. You can move around a little bit.
I can
Stretch.
Oh.
Now, what would you do? If your chains weren't on and the door was open, what would you do?
Run away. Run away from those guards.
I would run away, but first I would bring a bar, so I could fight my way out.
Oh, well, you know what Paul and Silas did?
What?
They sat right there.
I knew it.
And they knew that God answered their prayers because they wanted to get out. But God helped them be freed from the stocks and the chains that were on them. But they knew also that God had more work for them to do. So just about this time, the jailer, remember the jailer, he's the one with the keys?
Yeah.
The jailer came back and he looked around and it was real dark in there. He couldn't see anything, so he looked inside the prison door. And when he saw that that the prison door was open, he thought everybody escaped. And if he was the jailer and everybody escaped, do you think he'd be in big time trouble?
Yes.
Yeah, well, he was really scared. In fact, he was about to hurt himself. He was about to kill himself because he thought he was going to get in real big trouble. Well, right away,
That's why you brought a sword.
but something else happened. You know what the jailer heard?
What?
The jailer heard a voice, and it was Paul. And he said, "Don't hurt yourself. We're all still in here." So then the jailer called for some light to be brought in. And they sort of like turned the lights on. They brought in their lanterns and they could see again. And he looked around and he saw that nobody had left. And so the jailer went to Paul and Silas and asked them how he could be saved. Because he knew that they believed in God. And he thought maybe God can answer his prayers too. Paul and Silas taught the jailer and his family about Jesus, and the jailer washed Paul and Silas's wounds. Paul and Silas had gotten some cuts and scrapes because they got beat up before they went into jail. So now the jailer was being real nice, and he washed he helped with where their bruises were, and they had cuts and scrapes, and he helped fix them up and kind of put some bandages on them.
That's what the
And
doctor
then-
did.
Yeah, and then the jailer and his family got baptized.
I love baptizing.
The jailer wasn't mean or rough anymore, and he wasn't filled with fear either. The jailer instead was filled with joy. God's promise today is, I will answer you. And you know the cool thing it says in the Bible?
What?
Is that every time we pray, God says He will hear us. Now, how many prayers do you think are going on right now in the whole world? Like, what's a guess?
Whole world?
In the whole world, like how many prayers? How many people are praying, do you think?
2,000,999.
2,999?
There's still more people than that on the earth.
Not all the people pray, but yeah.
Millions and millions and
Millions and millions and millions. How about you? What do you think?
All of the people in the whole entire world.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's like billions of people. Well, you think about it, it's pretty amazing that everybody in the world, with everybody and everybody's problems, God hears each and every one of you. He hears each and every one of you. And if you believe God's promise, you can talk to Him anytime, anywhere, about anything. And God will answer you. Sometimes you'll have good times, and sometimes you'll have bad times, and there'll be big things going on and little things going on. Sometimes you'll be happy, sad, afraid, hungry, scared. God might not always give you the answer you want, but God will answer you. God will always give you an answer. God's answer will be the right one every time. Which time do we have?
2 minutes.
2 minutes left. Real quick, I want to teach you a little lifeguard lesson, okay? This I just learned about today by reading our story here. That if you're a lifeguard, you whistle one time, that means getting somebody's attention, kind of get them out of the water or tell them to be careful.
Like if a shark's coming.
And then if they do this, 2 whistle blows, that means they're trying to get the attention of another lifeguard. And if they do, that means everybody get out of the water quick, because something bad's happening. I just learned about that. So if I blow it one time, what does it mean?
Get out of the water, or a shark's coming.
Well, it means be
or
careful.
a jellyfish.
It kind of means be careful.
I can't walk in jellyfish.
What does that mean?
2 lifeguards.
It means get some help, and
Everybody get out of the water.
everybody get out. Good job, y'all.
What if there
Well,
was
let's